Uh, Hello, guys and gals. Hope you're doing well. You're probably wondering what exactly this is and why you're not already indulging in an episode of the Mr. Goon Show as was once promised. And that's because some things have changed with the production of my project, which was pilot for a talk show called the Mr. Goon Show. And this is supposed to act as a precursor, sort of to explain some information that I think will clear up any questions or any confusion. So originally, what was planned was a full 30 to 45 minute pilot episode for what would have been my talk show, which is also known as the Mr. Goon Show. And I had already written out and constructed everything that was going to take place, had a full plan and everything. However, it's been a little broken down due to some forces that are out of our control. And by forces, I'm specifically talking about the COVID-19 virus. So because of the virus and the shutting down of a lot of facilities that I once had access to, I no longer have a studio, I no longer have high-tech camera equipment, I no longer have high-tech editing equipment, and I don't have a crew except for my lovely parents. So definitely already not good. However, I am not one to take punches lying down. And even though I don't have the resources I once had to make this very top of the line, I still wanted to try my best to make something that was good and to still go with this project to the best of my ability, because it is something that I feel very passionate about and that I would like to share with other people. So if you would please, not leave, please, and join me on an interview with the Deputy Supervisor of the town of Somers as we talk about something that I think is very important to talk about, which is the COVID-19 virus. Boy, that sure was a very interesting commercial. I'll make sure to pick up my copy of Candy Crush 2 Electric Boogaloo this weekend. Hello guys and gals, how's it going? It's your host, Mr. Goon, here on the Mr. Goon Show. Now, we've had a very good show for you so far. We've laughed, we've cried. Mostly I did most of the crying, but we don't need to worry about that. But here on the show, I know we mostly dabble in comedy and entertainment and hearty chuckles for all. But you know what's even more important than that? Knowledge. Okay, I'm a big advocate for knowledge. I have multiple books in my room that I haven't touched in years that are probably filled with knowledge, and I feel very passionate about it. And I feel like a good change of pace, especially with the changing times and the threat of the pandemic of the COVID-19 virus sort of in our world right now, I think it's very important to learn up on a lot of the things that are going on and how they affect you. And with me to discuss that, I have a very good friend of mine. He's actually the father of my manager, and we're going to have him on the show to talk with us a bit. And without further ado, please give a warm welcome for the Deputy Supervisor of the town of Somers, Tom Garrity.
Thank you, Mr. Goon.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me and changing your format to address this serious topic.
Well, thank you very much for being with us. I'm glad you said yes to this. I feel like this is something that a lot of people should know. So for that, I thank you. Water?
No, I'm good. Thank you very much.
All right, I think you need some water. Let's just pour you a glass right there. There you go. Is that enough?
That's fine.
Okay, that's good.
That's fine.
All right, that's good. All right, so first off, how are you doing today? You doing good?
I'm doing fantastic, Mr. Goon. I'm glad to be on your premiere show and the pilot episode.
Thank you very much. It's very good. It was very hard to find people to actually come on this. Whenever I mentioned it to them, they just sort of laughed and hung up. But you know what? We're past that now, so I think that's good. So first off, because I know a lot of people probably know you, but there are the few niche that probably don't know what you do in the town of Somers. So if you could, you might want to just sort of explain who you are and what you do in the town.
I am the deputy supervisor of the town, which means I sit on the town board. We do the hiring and firing of the town. We do the budget of the town. We make the laws or change the laws as needed. We meet twice a month and have various other meetings throughout the month, but we have a work session at the beginning of the month, and the second week of the month we have our actual town board meetings. So I've lived in town for my entire life. I was on the planning and zoning boards, and I'm in my 13th year on the town board.
Wow, 13th year. So you're like the big man on campus then, pretty much, huh? Is that how you would explain it?
I'm one of five.
One of five?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Now, as someone, and this is more or less the reason why I wanted you on the show, because you're very high up in the town government.
Yes.
I would say. So all of this COVID stuff and how trying to deal with it, you're very involved with that, aren't you?
I am.
You are. So I feel like your sort of perspective of it and some of your knowledge would be very good for everybody. So just sort of to start off, how exactly has the town of Somers been dealing with this virus, COVID-19? What are some of the steps they've taken?
Well, we've been dealing with it in many ways. Initially things started up slow, but we we meet with the governor and talk to him weekly, and we meet with the county executive, George Latimer. He has calls 3 times a week. What the town of Somers did was we immediately listened to what's called executive orders given by the governor, and we went to a 50% workforce. So you can only have 50% of the workforce in at any one time. We started with that. We've also gone out and we've made sure that all of our departments, including the police, the nutrition department, and building, planning, all those departments, that they all have what they call PPE, personal protection equipment, the main one being masks. So we make sure that everybody's got that. I've been able to get to town a couple thousand masks as well as some gloves. I've also gotten some for one of our nursing homes in town. I've gotten them about 2,500 gloves. So that's the main thing, and as you well know, that you need to wear a mask if you can't do proper social distancing.
Exactly.
So we've done that, and what we're in the process of doing now is the governor we've been able to reopen, so to speak. There's 9 different districts, economic districts in the state of New York. We are called the Mid-Hudson region. We had to meet 5 different indexes. We've met them just a week ago, and so we started into step 1, phase 1 of reopening. So I am a member of the town's, I guess I'll call it the reopening task force.
Task force.
Where we're determining. Thank you. So we're determining where and how we can bring people back to work and get back up to speed, and we'll be meeting weekly to do that.
That's good. And has all this trying to manage all of these new policies and trying to put them into place, has it been harder, especially with this whole social distancing thing? And by the way, anybody, before you send your angry letters, we had Mr. Garrity here disinfected with a hose filled with hand sanitizer. So it's okay that we're not wearing masks. So, please calm down.
I'm very sanitized. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah,
I appreciate
sorry, I know that was probably a little weird, but
it's all right.
Just doing it for safety, okay?
No worries. No worries. I smell good now.
Yeah.
I believe with the help of Mr. Blanche and the town supervisor, Rick Morrissey, set up, and the PTA set up the recent senior car parade.
I know, I saw that. That was actually very impressive. I didn't think a lot of people were going to go out for that.
It was a huge success. People loved it. It's something that's going to be a memory forever. We were so happy that the police were all able to come out to help direct traffic, that the fire department was able to lead the parade. and that so many of the seniors and their parents and siblings were able to join in the parade.
Exactly.
They did a fantastic job, everybody who organized it.
I saw a lot of people, decorating their cars and stuff. That was also pretty good. It's good to see that people are having fun with it.
Correct.
I believe, wasn't it your son who was in the red, the convertible?
Yes, I rented a red convertible for my son so he could sit in the back and see everybody, and the weather ended up cooperating. It was beautiful up until about 20 minutes after, and we had a great time.
That's good. He looked very cool in that, very stylish.
Thank you. He drew on the car, as well as his sister, who's a little artiste, and was able to draw a river hawk, which is the mascot of the school he's going to in the fall, as well as a couple of elephants, which is obviously, as you know, the mascot of Somers.
Yes, no, well, that's very good.
That's it.
Very good that people are trying to find the good side of all this. Take advantage of these opportunities, wouldn't you say?
I would. I think it's fantastic. You got to do what you can and make the best of a bad situation.
What do you think has been, as a person, just like as a person living in Somers for so long, seeing all this stuff sort of happen to your town that has been your home for a very long time? Are you personally worried at all about anything? Do you have any bad feelings about anything?
No, I think our town has always shown Somers is a little bit different than every other town. People always band together. They work together. Whenever we need volunteers for anything, they volunteer. Again, usually in the parade. I was so pleasantly surprised at how many people came out to cheer the seniors on. So Somers to me has always been sort of a diamond in the middle of larger towns. We're only about 21,000 people, but whenever we call for volunteers, we get plenty of them, and they always pitch in and try to help each other. And you can see that through social media. All the somebody puts out, hey, I need something, and immediate people say, hey, I can get this for you. Here's who you need to contact. So I'm not worried. Somers always rebounds.
How's the you said social media?
I did,
because I know that social media can be very influential, especially in times like these. Have you noticed anything very either good or bad about social media?
Well, social media is good. I have my own page, and I administer with others what's called Somers Parents. So any information that I'm able to get, be it from the state, be it from the county, or be it from the town, I'm able to put out and put to those sites. So I try to educate people as much as I can through that site. I did the same when we had hurricanes or blizzards or things of that nature when there's power out. I try to get out and get around town and try to, when I'm mobile, try to get out and tell people what's going on. So the social media, for the most part, has been good. You do get the negative aspects where people come in and they just complain, but that's just social media in general. They're always going to complain about something. The good news in town here is that the parks are going to be opening for passive recreation and tennis, which I think is a good thing. Again, you had some people who complained about it not being open for more, or things of that nature.
That's pretty much what happens with that kind of stuff.
Exactly right.
Yeah. I don't really participate in too much social media because of that. The only thing I have now is a MySpace account.
Okay.
So no one really uses that anymore.
I don't even know what it is.
Exactly. So that really helps. So, but it's good to have that sort of knowledge that it is doing well for everybody. And I think I want to end off our interview by just saying, because you're a very influential person in the town. I would say so. What exactly would you say to someone who, even someone who's watching, who's very worried about the current situation and trying to do their best to better understand stuff and feel better? What would you say to someone to help console them or maybe help them a bit?
Well, I would say a couple of things, most of them which have been repeated numerous times throughout there. Number one, wear a mask. When you wear a mask, you're really doing it because you're saying that you're looking out for other people. Because me wearing a mask is going to help you even more so than me, and you're wearing a mask is going to help me. So if I sneeze or if I get the virus, the mask will stop it from getting to you. Number two, wash your hands and use hand sanitizer. If you go into a store, you wash your hands and you use hand sanitizer before you go in and when you come out. If you don't have to go somewhere, don't. I mean, and that's the toughest thing. It's tough to, we're a social people. People like to socialize and get together and see their friends. So that's been the toughest thing for the last 2.5 months. Hopefully, as we get into the summer, this virus will decline. It already has been. If you watch the governor, who speaks every day at 11:30, all of the indexes are way down. But I would tell the people that if you do need help, if there are issues, there are numbers you can call. You can reach out to the town, and we can provide you with those numbers just to talk to people. It's always good to talk to people. We have FaceTime, we have Zoom, so you can make some contact with people. Don't let it get to the point where you're just so bad off. Try and reach out to people before that, and there are people out there who can help you.
And you know what? I think that's more or less what the main point of all this is. See, we're suffering through a tragedy right now, and as hard as it seems, I feel like that with the right kind of attitude and the right kind of help and the right kind of social interaction, we can help but push through this. Showing just a little bit of human decency and kindness to someone can go a long way when it comes to something like this. And to those who do, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And for those of you who have been not so good with this, who have been very negative about this and possibly causing even more problems, let me say from the bottom of my heart, stop.